Hey everyone, I'm Brian Otten. I'm the marketing manager at the Greater Wausau Chamber of Commerce. We are doing another in a series of live videos with the finalists for this year's Small Business of the Year Awards. I'm joined right now by Susie Arnold of the Good News Project. And the Good News Project is a finalist in the charitable nonprofit category. For those of you that haven't watched the previous videos that we've done in this series, we've interviewed all but one of the finalists up to this point, and those are all available on the Chamber's Facebook and YouTube channels. So, Susie, hello. We've got some special things going on at the Good News Project today. What's happening here?
We do. Actually, you're joining us. We are celebrating Earth Day. So we have special hours just today and tomorrow. Normally we're here every Friday 9 to 4, but we'll also be open tomorrow. So we're doing a huge recycling event. Basically, you can kind of look around here, a lot of different things. We call it junk with cords, is everything that we collect. And what we do is have our volunteers. You can actually walk through here with me. The volunteers will take a wagon like this, load up the people's electronics right from here. They bring it up on this scale, and we get a weight on the wagon. They're charged 45 cents a pound, and it's just an event right now. And actually, we're pretty fortunate today. We have the Rotary Club members here of the Wausau Rotaries that are volunteering with us as well today.
I recognize one. Dennis is one of our ambassadors, so Dennis volunteers for us as well.
Excellent. Well, he's a good volunteer. So basically, I'll take you on inside
Sure.
so we can get out of their way. But over the past year, we've been able to recycle over 215,000 pounds, keeping all of that out of the landfill. The materials that do get recycled are then 99.8% of them end up everything recycled. So none of that goes into the landfill.
Wow, that's
So
great.
it's pretty exciting. And what you have a quick shot of here is our other program. This is our medical equipment lending program. Everything that you've seen here are items that have been donated by our community. So in an average year, there's about 1,300 items per year donated by our community. And then other individuals who have needs can come and borrow them. In 1 month, we help about 200 individuals who have a need for that medical equipment. And it's just been a service that's really helpful for the community because it keeps all of that out of the landfill. And then people with a short-term or long-term medical equipment need are able to borrow it. So, for example, a use of a wheelchair, you can have it for up to 6 months for only $40. And it's a suggested donation. So people don't have to pay if they can't afford to. And kind of the fun thing about it is that e-cycle program is a fundraiser for the medical equipment. It's kind of all very interconnected.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And so, the application process that you went through for the Small Business of the Year Awards, what we hear from a lot of other finalists is that it's kind of an opportunity for the organization to kind of reflect on where they've come from, maybe the way that they've grown. Was there anything that stood out to you as you went through that process that sort of jumped out at you in terms of looking kind of back?
Actually, I think one of the biggest things that became apparent was that a lot of the community didn't understand first of all, what we do here.
Sure.
We've kind of been called the hidden gem.
Yep.
But they didn't understand how interconnected the programs were. And, the item that I just told you about, how one supports the other.
Sure.
But the bigger part of our vision and our mission is to provide service opportunities. And our programs are delivered to the general public mostly through volunteer service. Without those volunteers, we would not be able, like you saw how many we just needed out
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
We would not be able to do what we do here. So we often call just the volunteer group, one of our services. And we just find it's very important that the community understands that, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
There was a time when we couldn't see our volunteers, and the camaraderie and connectivity that people get was missed both by us and by them. So it's definitely, for me, I think, during that process, we just really learned how important it was for the explanation of what we do. I think the other main thing was we really became aware of how much we depend on our community. You just saw the Rotary Club out there. We have area businesses that are supporting us in many different ways, whether it be a sponsorship or e-cycling vouchers. There's a lot of different things that we work with the community. And the opportunity, I guess, to educate some of the youth groups in our area as well. We've worked with Boys and Girls Club and, some church groups and scout groups. And for us, it's really, there's an ongoing importance, I think, to just educate on how important electronics recycling is, the toxins that can be released in the air and water. We have to educate the younger generation. So I think all of those things kind of became apparent as we tried to answer the questions that you guys gave to us.
Sure. And so you mentioned your volunteers. There's obviously a lot of people that are required to make an organization like this kind of go. Anybody else that you'd like to recognize while we're speaking?
Absolutely. Well, our founders, Chuck and Peg McCarthy, who founded the organization in 1983, they first began doing this, doing short-term service trips in the West Indies, building houses for the less fortunate and some other things. So obviously they're key to just getting things started here, and their mission lives on. And we can't forget our executive director, Christine Daniels, who has been here for 22 years, serving here, wearing many, many hats, doing a lot on a very slim budget. But again, for us, the key is our volunteers, our partnerships. We've been fortunate. We've had several internship programs through NTC, UWSP. Those are all opportunities for us to mentor the youth, but at the same time, it's about building those relationships and letting them see the kind of stories that happen here. I mean, many times we're talking about people who are dealing with end-of-life care, caregivers, and basically there's no restriction to who can use our services. And so in a roundabout way, as things, kind of extrapolate, there's an opportunity for everyone in our community to benefit from one or the other or both of our services. So again, we're just grateful to the community. We're thankful to you guys for this opportunity as well. It kind of helps us to get the word out.
Sure.
And we appreciate the support of our vision. It helps us to be the good for the environment and each other.
So speaking of getting the word out and stories, I had a coworker probably almost 20 years ago when I was at the newspaper who made a trip and sort of documented that trip with the Good News Project. I don't remember exactly where she went, but remember I was a designer, and so I remember putting together the page that kind of told the story of her trip and her involvement with the organization. But so you're right. Your history goes back quite a ways, and you've really kind of established yourselves as a very important nonprofit in the community, and I commend you on that. Anything else you'd like to add that we haven't covered?
No, well, thank you for that. I guess, just along that same line, next year we're celebrating our 40th anniversary here at Good News Project. And, I would be remiss if I didn't, give that shameless, for more volunteers. We have a wonderful volunteer family here. It's a great group of people, and we always welcome anyone else to join.
Great. So this is, like I mentioned earlier, this is the 10th out of 11 videos with the finalists for the Small Business of the Year Awards. If you haven't registered for that program, which will be held in the afternoon of Tuesday, May 10th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Rib Mountain, I encourage you to go to wausauchamber.com, purchase your seats. It's always a fun program. It's a great opportunity for us at the Chamber and as a community to kind of recognize small businesses, including small charitable nonprofits. And again, if you need to learn more about that, you can visit our website. These videos are all being streamed live and then posted as recordings on the Chamber's Facebook page and on the Chamber's YouTube channel. So if you missed any of them during the last week, I encourage you to watch them. We'll be back at 2 p.m. with the final one, Advantage Insurance, and we will see you at 2. Thank you.
Thank you.